Hello, boys and girls. So today we're going to read the story The Tortoise and the Jackrabbit by Susan Lowell, illustrated by Jim Harris. So last week we read The Tortoise and the Hare, the fable, and this is a different version of that same story. So while we're reading this version, I want you to be thinking about how this version and the other version that we read are the same and how they are different. I'll let you look at the picture first. One fine day, the desert was full of springtime magic. Seeds sprouted, eggs hatched, cactus buds bloomed. Ah, said Tortoise, coming out of her burrow, I feel good. I feel fast. Jackrabbit turned one of his huge ears in her direction. Silly Tortoise, he laughed. You drag that heavy shell wherever you go. As for me, I'm free, free, free. Come on, pages. Zig, Jackrabbit leaped left. Zag, Jackrabbit sprang right. I'm the fastest runner in the desert, he bragged. Tortoise looked patiently up at him with her old, old eyes. Let's race, she said. Now the other desert animals gathered around. I'm sure to win, said Jackrabbit. Prove it, said Tortoise. So they agreed to race. I'll mark the course, squawked Roadrunner, and off he ran over the rocky hill, across the dusty flat place, under the mesquite trees, to the waterhole. I'll draw the starting line, hissed Rattlesnake, and she slithered across the sand. Let you see the picture and then. There you go. Tortoise and Jackrabbit took their places side by side. I'll watch from above, called Buzzard, high in the sky, while Eagle floated silent as a cloud. I'm Jackrabbit hungrily. Coyote volunteered to start the race. 1, 2, 3, oh! Jackrabbit bolted away. Long, low, leap, ho, he sang, and over the rocky hill he soared in less than no time. Tortoise moved her scaly toes up the slope. Scritch, scratch, lump, thump she went. Scorpion peeked out from beneath a big rock. Tortoise inched past a blooming prickly pear cactus, and she trudged around a giant saguaro high up in its trunk inside a dark hole. Elf Owl opened one sleepy eye. Tortoise rustled through desert dandelions and golden poppies, purple sand verbena, and creamy butterfly lilies. Although she loved flowers, she did not stop. Don't step on us, cried the ants, scattering. I won't, sighed Tortoise in her dry little voice as she lumped and bumped along. Meanwhile, Jackrabbit came to the dusty flat place. "Low, long, leap, ho," he said, and skipped across. By now he'd left Tortoise far behind. Under the mesquite trees he saw a patch of tender, sweet, delicious grass, and he stopped to nibble it. By the time he had eaten his fill, he felt so drowsy that he laid down in the shade and fell fast asleep. Tortoise plodded down the hill, scritch, scratch, lump, thump. She was tired and hot, but Tarantula waved his 8 furry arms to cheer her onward. At last she too came to the dusty flat place. Ha! Help! A terrible flat monster with round black rubber feet. It tried to crush her flat. There was a roar, a smell of burning oil, and a cloud of dust. Oh, what is that monster that she sees? That's a car, huh? When the dust settled, Tortoise crept out of her shell. "Whew!" she said. She continued slowly and steadily on her way. She passed Jackrabbit, still snoozing under the mesquite tree. Suddenly he woke up. He saw all the other animals gathered at the water hole. The quails had even brought their children, like little brown eggs on legs, and Tortoise had almost reached the finish line. Jackrabbit flew past light-footed deer, somersaulting over stinky skunk, left Gila monster in the dust, and never even noticed shy kangaroo rat. Let's take a look and see if we can find all of those creatures that they just mentioned. He hightailed it faster than ever, past hairy pig like Javelina, and then whoops, he crashed right into Sly Coyote and ski-daddled. But long, low leap. Oh no! Who did he run into? Coyote. Tortoise scritch scratch across the line first. The desert animals cheered. "Thank you, my friend," said Tortoise. Javelina handed the winner a beautiful spring bouquet. And slowly, happily, Tortoise ate it. So there's a little note here from the author. It says, a note on the story. The tortoise wins the race in this fable, but real desert tortoises are in trouble. These ancient flower-eating reptiles face 2 main threats. First, a disease spread among wild tortoises by ones that used to be pets. And second, the destruction of tortoise habitat in various ways by human beings. Jackrabbits, which actually aren't rabbits, but members of the hare family, are less endangered than tortoises, yet jackrabbits also need open space in order to survive. The wild desert is a precious place. If it is preserved for future generations of tortoises, jackrabbits, and people, we will all be winners. All right, so I want you to think about the story that we read before, The Tortoise and the Hare. Let me just make sure there's nothing else in here for us to look at. Nope. Okay. So the other story doesn't really tell us where it takes place other than they're outside, but they don't really say where. But this version definitely has a setting. Do you know what the setting is? Where are they in this story? Yeah, they're in the desert. And so all of the animals that you're seeing are animals that live in the desert. What else is different between this version of the story and the other version of the story? I hope you enjoyed this book.